Hey everyone, for Market Minutes today, we're going to look at BATL, B-A-T-L, Battalion Oil Corp. And I like to always do three things. I like to talk about their latest earnings, their current valuation, and other elements to consider for this stock. So we will start with the latest earnings for Q4 2025. And you can see right here, their operating revenue declined year over year. Most likely because of oil prices. You can see that kind of decline here. I bet they'll tell us at the top. Yeah, 12K barrels of oil per day. Okay. And then if we look at their operating expenses, you can see they have pretty much, improved. Okay, so they, across every metric, G&A, lease, workover, this is improvements across the board. Total operating expenses declined quite a bit, actually. So much so that, they actually had improved loss from operations despite the decline in revenue. So that's very interesting. And then they have a gain on some derivative contracts here. This is below the line. Some preferred dividends they gave out, which ended up causing a loss per common share of about 12K lost, 12 million lost in that quarter. So with that, I want to go look at the balance sheet and see how sustainable that is. So at 12 million lost per quarter, or at least last quarter, they have a lot of cash. So they have about a 6-month cash runway. If their accounts receivable, though. And then we have their properties here. This is their PP&E. But I already got the main thing I wanted, which was they have about 2 quarters worth of cash before they run out. 3 quarters, maybe. And then let's go look at their debt. Current portion of long-term debt. So they do have quite a bit of debt, which is not great. Long-term debt net. Yeah, that's a lot of debt. So that's not great. That is not great. I just want to look at the cash flow real quick for the operating activities right here. The reason why, and I want to start looking at these more, is because this is where you can see issued stock. And financed activities, you can see they didn't issue any stock, it looks like, last quarter. So the main concern that I have is this debt that they have and then the cash runway. I kind of want to know what they sold the barrel of oil at. Looks like they have gas too. ChatGPT will find it quickly for me. What was the average price of oil sold by BATL stocks? But what's that GPT that? Okay, thank you. Realized oil prices. So what? 63 a barrel. I would imagine it's probably around there then. low 60s. And the price of oil today is 100. Look at that. I want to check on Mumu what it's showing me. Um, see, because that means they're going to be making a lot more money in Q2 if these strikes in Iran continue. Yeah, it's over $100. So if that stays high, they're actually going to end up making a lot more money. So that's interesting. So there's kind of I mean, still they have a lot of debt to overcome, but that's still not bad. So let's go look at the valuation, right? Real quick. I think I'm already on that page. So you're looking at a very small market cap. That's a very small market cap. Especially because you're seeing, their revenue alone right here is this 28 million. I mean, granted, they lose a lot more than that, but that's a small market cap, which means it's easier for big price movements. I would bet if I were to look at the overnight prices right now, I bet it's going whack. Which overnight prices don't always mean really too much of anything, but yeah, up 13% overnight so far. Small market cap, almost zero analysts covering. Their PE ratio doesn't matter because they don't make money. So the valuation, I don't think is anything crazy. Especially, well, I should say this. Historically, you could be buying at worse levels. They kind of had this pump after the strikes in Iran, and now you see it's kind of come back down. So I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but maybe this is a buy. Yeah, you can kind of see here's this. So that's interesting. And it leads us into other elements to consider, which right now, this is all based around action in Iran. I don't know what's going to happen there, to be honest. I keep seeing stuff about like groups of thousands of Marines being sailed over there to maybe do some sort of operations or whatnot. I don't know. And the news is hard to get the truth out of what's actually happening. So how many ground troops in area of Hormuz? How many? Okay, so that's nothing. That's not a lot. That sounds to me like they're going to do some sort of take an island. I think that Karg Island, or they're going to maybe try to get some sort of area along Hormuz. That's not a big full scale invasion. I think Iraq there was like 250,000 soldiers, so this isn't anything big. So I personally think that these strikes and this war will be over within a month or two. I could be wrong. I just don't see the motivation of either side for the strikes to kind of to continue. I think that the United States, I don't see the motivation for the continuation of the war. I don't really see what's to gain on Trump's side from this point forward. As for Iran, I don't really see what's to gain for them keeping it going either. So I just don't see why it would keep going. Like, for example, in Russia and Ukraine, Russia obviously believes that they can win or that they can, take something they can get. In Iran, I don't see any evidence of the United States trying to invade. With Iran, I don't see any change in behavior that they've had for the past, 30, 40 years. I don't see them They don't have air control, so I don't see them trying to invade or make a move or do anything like that. They don't have air or sea control. So I don't see why they would want it to continue on. So what I'm saying in short is that I think what is causing BATL to go up is maybe it won't last forever, but it doesn't need to last forever for this thing to go back to $18 in a week. So this one's a little more. I like to look at the fundamentals just for the people that care, but this really isn't a fundamental play. This is a momentum kind of small market cap kind of play, which I'll never judge anyone for trying to do that. You can make a lot of money that way. So, and if you were to play this, I mean, heck, entering now is better than entering back here at 22, $18 over here. So, yeah. So there you go. There's a